Hey guys, back with another deck profile here. This one is going to be a really popular contender for early local play, I think. It might even see some competitive play. It's pretty nasty. It's a Harley Quinn victory point abuse deck. So, start off here. First you play 3 Harley Quinn former psychiatrist. This Harley says if she dies by damage during battle that you get a victory point, which means she's kind of like a suicide machine. You're trying to constantly attack in with her to force your opponent to block or take a victory point in damage, and a lot of blocks, since she only has a max rank of 5, are going to kill her. So you can use her pretty freely because you want her dead. So sometimes you keep her untapped to block if they've got big guys and you know big attacks are coming in. But if they're trying to match you with small guys, just attack through, because they're going to either let her hit and get a victory point and then she'll die for a second victory point, or they'll choose to block her and potentially kill her for the 1 victory point and just know that she's going to be off the board. I do apologize about this next one because I have proxies here, but the next one is 3 Harley Quinn Dr. Harleen Quinzel. I still need to get 2 more of her. She has a cross rare, but her ability says push her, KO this character to gain a VP. That's really handy because you can drop her on your turn and use her to block an attack that won't quite kill her in the next combat, and then pop her to, push her to get that free victory point and move yourself even closer. In combination with this Harley Quinn, you've got a lot of free victory point action coming in handy there. Next coming out is Bizzaro. Now Bizzaro's pretty sweet because he says when he comes into play, you copy the effect of another character in play. So the concept here is to try to copy Harley Quinn's push ability or this Harley Quinn's continuous ability, so that you have 3 more Harley Quinns in the deck generating victory points towards the goal. Bizzaro can also copy some of your opponent's abilities, so in a pinch, if you need to copy a Green Lantern, say, or a Firestorm, you've got options beyond just your Harley Quinns into what your opponent is using if you need help in a situation. That's kind of nice, but most of the time you're going to be copying your Harley Quinns. Next I play 1 of the Joker. This guy says when he comes into play, you can search your deck for a Harley Quinn and place it into your hand. So you kind of just use it to find one of your 2 Harley Quinns there. I play 1 of it because I have ways to recur him if I need to, and a lot of times I don't want to only be drawing him because I want board space for the Harley Quinns. He just enables me to make sure I'm going to see one. That's pretty important, especially if you're holding on to Bizarros or things like that. Plays 2 Firestorm in the deck just to deal with problem guys. Takes care of Constantine, takes care of Zod. Those are both really obnoxious guys for this deck, considering that Harley is a continuous effect and Bizzaro is a when enters play effect, so being able to take those guys out is good. A couple Firestorm. And 2 Ra's al Ghul. This guy lets you bring back your Harley Quinn and Bizarros from the discard pile. So after they die and get you your victory point, or you sacrifice the Bizzaro to a push ability, you can drop a Ra's al Ghul to bring him right back out and be copying someone else, or have a new Harley ready to die again. Onto the event cards. I play 2 reinforcements here. It's a 2 MP, shuffle 2 battle cards into your deck and draw a card. It's really good for reusing your best battle cards. It's also a nice little draw power. Kind of keeps you recycling the best things you can play. Play 2 Rebirth here. Works kind of similar to reinforcements. It costs 1 less, but you get 3 cards instead of 2, and you don't get to draw a card. Really, you want to put the Harleys back in your deck. A lot of times your opponents are going to be trying to kill your Harleys, not by combat damage, so being able to put them back in so they have to try to kill them by combat damage for the 2nd time or the 3rd time. This card is really handy for reusing those Harley Quinns. Next I play 3 Microscopic Victory. This card is a hefty 9 MP, but it just flat out gives you a victory point. So in a deck that's constantly trying to cheat, if you could have one Harley Quinn, the push Harley Quinn with a Bizzaro in play, threatening 2 victory points, and holding on to this card, you could get 3 victory points really quickly from your opponent, and he could have no counterplay to that. That's really what you're going to have to do against the Dr. Fate decks, because they're going to be trying to heal you. If you do slow damage, you need to kind of burst, and this card helps. Moving on to the battle cards. Play 2 of this Intelligence 1. It's -1 MP, but it says draw 3 cards and put 2 cards on top of your deck. You got to make sure you see your Harley Quinns, and this is an early card that almost anyone in the deck can throw, and you got to make sure you see those Harleys. So, huge draw power here, and to make sure you can. The deck also runs a lot of shuffle, so if you have to stack bad cards, you could instantly follow it up with a deck shuffle, and you know, make sure that those bad cards you don't need anymore are somewhere else, not your next couple draws. That's pretty important. Play 3 of this Strength 1, Draw 1, Discard 1 card, just for a little bit more hand filtering. Like I said, it's a nice little chip attack. Harleys don't really care what they're doing, they want to die, so throwing cards that are going to replace themselves and get you the important other cards are really good for this deck. Play 3 Special 2. This card turns off other people's effects. It's really good for shutting down other people's Firestorms, or their Zatanas, or their Constantines, whatever you need to ensure that your Harleys are going to do what they do. Your opponent should constantly be trying to disrupt what the Harleys are trying to do at all times, and this really helps you protect their strategy. Play 3 Intelligence 2, Gorilla Grodd, draw 2, put 1 on the bottom of your deck. This card might be one of the best cards in the game right now. It's a common, it's a really easy stat line to get, it gives you MP, it's just all around a really good card. Don't have to put cards in the discard pile. So for my Intelligence 3, I play these. This card lets you shuffle a character from your discard pile back into your deck. So after your push Harleys are dying, this one lets you recycle them, so when you cast your rebirths, you can be hitting your battle cards. This deck tends to throw a lot of attacks and block a lot of attacks, so you want to be using rebirth on battle cards, and this guy helps make sure that the Harleys get reused as well. Play 1 of this Intelligence 4 attack. It says if it's used on a defense, you can stack, or by a villain character, you can stack a character on top of its owner's deck. So if you know your opponent is out of battle cards, and you block with this, you can make it so they're not going to draw another battle card next turn to get in for huge damage. Also, you could block with one of your Harleys to kill her, let's say, and stack your deck with another Harley to replace that spot that's just about to die. This card's really good. I'm thinking about going up on it, because almost everybody in the deck is a villain, and almost every villain in the deck can use this card, so I really like it. I'm playing 3 of the Special 4. Not everyone in the deck can play this, like Harley and Ra's al Ghul and Firestorm can't, but it is a huge MP game that both Harley and Bizzaros can play, and they're doing the bulk of the attacking and blocking anyways. It's a huge MP game because Microscopic Victory is such a huge investment. I need to have some stuff to just kind of skyrocket me to the MP I need. Lastly, I've got 3 of these Intelligence 5 attacks. There's a lot of cards in the deck that can perform this, and it says when you perform it, you shuffle a battle card from your discard pile back into your deck. So it lets you reuse your draw power cards like this and this. Lets you reuse your turn guys off. It lets you recycle this, which lets you recycle Harley Quinns. It lets you recycle this to get huge MP bonuses. I mean, the sky's the limit with this Intelligence 5 card here. Rounds out the deck pretty good. Your opponent's going to have to do a lot of destruction, not combat related, to deal with Harley Quinns. They're going to get really overwhelming. And I know Microscopic Victory seems expensive, but there's a lot of times where this deck is just waiting on 10 or 9 MP, waiting to get the Microscopic Victory to play it to just fill right back up. In practice, it plays pretty good. I guess if you get clogged with 2 or 3 of these early, it can be really obnoxious. But, like I said, you play a lot of hand filtering. So, between these and these, if you have to, it's much better to put the Microscopic Victories back on top and then shuffle them away with cards like this and Rebirth than to discard them. But sometimes you have to. Just yeah, let me know. Test this deck out. Let me know what you think, and see you guys next time.